Hey there, welcome to another Contractor Click Podcast here. Your host, Danny Barrera, and I have a very special guest, my brother and friend, an incredible human being, Mr. Ray. Welcome aboard.
Wow, man, it's really nice to be here. I'm really grateful that you have me here, and I love your setup. You know, it's really cool. It's awesome to be here, man. Thank you so much.
Well, glory to God, and it's an honor to have you here. It's been a minute. I think we met a couple of years ago, right?
Maybe like 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years ago.
Like that.
I've witnessed an incredible expansion. There's growth, and then there's expansion. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity to come on over and have this conversation here, because you're someone that you're young. God's blessed you with a beautiful family. But you've exited a business. You've gone through quite a bit of work to get to where you are today. And now we're here in Florida, sunny Florida, right?
Yeah.
But it's been amazing to watch that journey here. And also as a byproduct, I've been able to grab some of that and grow myself into my bigger and better future. But this conversation is about you. I want to learn about where did Ray come from? Like, you built and exited a company in what in most business terms would be like in record time, right?
Yeah.
The accomplishments. Give us a quick background story for the listeners.
Yeah, so my name is Ray Reyes. I'm from New Jersey. I grew up there my whole life. Was fortunate enough to, I had 3 brothers growing up. My mom, my dad, pretty tight-knit family. My mother is from Mexico. She came here when she was about 16 or 17, yeah. And then my dad met my mom when he was 23. So they've been together for like 50 plus years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would definitely say that's a big part of my why, was to, become the first millionaire in my family, become the first one to set a new standard.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom stayed home. She raised me and my 3 brothers.
Wow.
Was humbling beginnings. My dad. I love my dad. He's a great man. He grew up in New Jersey. Came here from Cuba when he was like 7 or 8. Yeah.
So you're Cuban and Mexican.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's an immigrant.
He is. Yeah.
Your mother's an immigrant too. And
my dad met my mom while he was on vacation in Acapulco with his
Wow.
friends. And I guess they met, and then they did the long distance thing for like a year, and then eventually they got married. My mom was like 18. She had my older brother like 19. She had me at 20, and then my other brother at 21. So having like 3 kids by 21 is a like now
3 kids by 21
versus like 30, 40 years ago. It's even harder,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like we had each other. We lived in a little condo, 2 bedroom. Me and my brothers all shared a bunk bed.
Okay. Yeah. Same here.
But I'm grateful for my life and my story, because it really, what I could say is created grit. It created like have to figure things out in life,
Yeah.
When you're not given everything, you have to then create your own outcome, create your own destiny. And that's what I deal with the businesses I work with, the owners I work with. I really love to uncover their story and their why, to help them overcome those challenging times that they're going to be going through in business.
Yeah.
Business is really a sport.
It truly is.
Like if you think about some of the best athletes, they're preparing, they're training, they're working with different coaches and mentors to help their mindset and their physical ability to, when they go on the court or the field or the arena, they're prepared. And in business, that is probably the greatest success tool is learning from other people that have done it before, that are very accomplished and really are going to help you save a lot of pain. So I was fortunate enough to work with some amazing mentors that have built businesses, exited businesses, built leadership systems, sales systems, marketing systems. That's where I met you, one of our mentors. And seeing your journey and everything you're doing is great too. Like it's wonderful. Yes, I've been through a lot. I've built some wonderful things, but seeing other people do it as well is really what it's about. The community of entrepreneurship, especially winners, is very few and far between.
Yes.
And in the arena of business, there's some owners or business people that feel like they need to keep everything close to them.
Yeah.
And they have a hard time opening up. And maybe they've been burned. Maybe, they just haven't had luck with reciprocating that. I help you, you help me. With the money attachment to a lot of coaches and mentors.
That's true.
It's a large expense,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But what I understand now is when you pay attention.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's an investment.
Yeah.
And when you're paying and not going to the calls or the events or whatever organization that you're in, if you're in an organization, like, play all out.
Yeah.
Get involved. Be in the middle of it. Get to that community place where you are now, yes, you have coaches and mentors inside of it, but you become a stability inside of that because you're buying into the process and you're winning because their processes are successful.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is I was in plumbing, HVAC, electric, underground, waterproofing, a lot of different home service needs. It doesn't matter what sector. If you're in roofing, windows, doors, siding, concrete, pools, get around other guys that are doing really well and learn from them. And if you have to pay them because they're going to help you not go through a lot of pain and hurdles.
Yeah.
And then as far as like, everybody has a blessing, right? So like my blessings would be discipleship. I love teaching, right? Like I get pride and joy out of teaching and letting other people understand the why, but not everybody has that skill set, right? You may have an administration skill set where you're really organized and detailed and God gave you that blessing.
Yeah.
The goal is to lean into your blessing.
Amen.
And then hire other people that are good at other things to help you and support you while you grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you discover, were you always brought up in that mindset at home, or what did you have to go through rough waters in order to figure that out over the years?
That's a great question. So when I was a kid, like I naturally loved sports and I loved teams and I loved to work out and exercise and like win and go for the championship. And through a team, right? Everybody, there's a captain, there's a co-captain, there's maybe, water boy, towel, like strength and conditioning coach. Like everybody has a role. So understanding what your role is the greatest gift. And once you understand it and you start to lean into it, that's going to help you evolve in your skill set. Now, I feel like God gives everybody like 2 or 3 really apparent ones.
Yeah.
And like for me, I would definitely say discipleship, leadership, and there's another one that I really don't understand right now in my walk as a believer, but I can't even say it. But yeah.
Really, what is it?
Begins with a D. Maybe it's like D. I forget what it is. I just did it at church, so that's why it's on my mind.
Nice.
And so like we all get these gifts.
Yeah.
Two of them are very apparent for me. It's leadership and discipleship.
Discipleship, yeah.
So with those come a lot of responsibility, but each one has responsibility. If you're like very merciful, right? It means you show mercy. If you're hospitality, like you love to host people.
Yeah.
Like inside of an organization, it's just like a church, right? You have the body. Everybody has a role inside of it. And it's just like a team.
Yeah.
So whether it's the team, the business, or your church community, we all have a place that God has like literally put his hand on your life.
Yeah.
And he wants you to step into it. Now what happens is this limited belief or, lower power or something like that tries to discredit you or tell you these stories that really aren't real. But it's such a battle when you deal with your own mind.
Yeah.
So the battle isn't like other businesses or other markets. It's really your mindset. The outcome that you want, like if you want to build a certain company, certain revenue size, certain amount of employees, certain amount of market share, you have to see it first.
Yeah.
And the clearer the vision, the clearer the outcome.
Yeah.
So when you can work with someone who's done it before and they can just give you a little bit of pivots, Danny, it goes a long way. Because the skill sets we have and the identities we have are just based off the upbringing or the people that were around us that developed us.
So true. Yeah, and I want to thank you and give you, just shout out here, in the podcast, because you've challenged me in my thinking and we've had conversations over the phone, and you're like, hey, how come you're not charging for this? Or what's your average ticket? And I'm like, oh, this is it. And I'm here, I'm like, we're crushing it. You're like, dude, that's baby food right there. Like, how could you feed your family on that? And it's a matter of understanding, because there are limiting beliefs that I've had to work through in terms of pricing, positioning, investing. It's everything that goes into building it. Where did that start for you? Like, you realize, was it by seeing someone else and you're like, wow, this is possible for me? Was it by just starting business in your business journey and you're like, okay, I got to make this happen? How did that happen for you?
I'm very fortunate. I was in the military, and when I got out was like 08, 09, where like the economy was really bad. And I wanted to be a police officer because I was a police officer in the service, and it didn't go my way.
Okay.
So all of a sudden you have this plan, and the door's shut on it.
Wow.
And that's where you really will learn to respond in life to God and to his infinite wisdom, because
Amen.
We could all try to hold on to this is all me, but God is moving doors and putting people in and out of your life that you just don't understand.
Yeah.
Right? And at that time, I'm 21 years old, 22, like a young man trying to get my way in life. And all of a sudden my dream, my goals are shut.
Wow.
So right then and there, I had to pivot to like becoming a plumber. Like, I wasn't planning on becoming a plumber, and I was fortunate enough to work with like a new construction plumber. That's a guy who like does buildings like this. He like puts all the pipes in the walls, the gas pipes, the venting, like it's big scale new construction work, which sounds like, oh wow, there's a lot of work involved, but little money. So when you're doing new construction, yes, you could have a big project and there could be some profit in it. But after you pay your people, and there's holdbacks on pay, and there's change orders, and there's unforeseen things, and the contractor, contractors, I don't want to give them a bad name, but like there's some bad contractors out there.
Oh yeah.
That take advantage of people.
Yeah.
That take money and run. There's all these terrible stories about contractors. So, and I'm not saying all contractors are like that. There's a small percentage, and that's what the rep of the whole industry gets. Like, am I going to give this guy money? Is he going to show up? Am I going to give this guy money? Is he going to do the right thing? Right? So when you're doing new construction, the people there, like, maybe they're not as skilled as like a master plumber or a master electrician or a master carpenter.
Yeah.
Those masters require a lot of money. So in the United States, you have union workers, and then you have non-union workers.
Yeah.
Union workers require a lot of benefits, higher tier package. Non-union, they're obviously fixing things up as time goes on, but like especially New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, that whole Northeast, it's very union minded.
Yeah.
And it has been for hundreds of years. And that whole business of like my father was a plumber, my grandfather, my electrician, I was in this local, I was in that local. So you're growing up in that environment, like you have to get into a union. And unions are great. You don't have to think. They tell you, it's like the military. It's like any government job. They control your workflow, they control your pay, they control your benefits, they control your retirement. You are now an employee for the government, you know what I mean? Whether it's a union or non-union, because we all work for the government in the United States. All the money gets taxed. If you tried not to pay your taxes, they're gonna come knock on your door. So
especially up north.
So as far as like paying taxes and building businesses and like that's a huge thing, having the right CPA, CFO, financial advisors around you to support your growth. But like if I always go back to where it began working as like a laborer, helper, because if the plumber didn't have work, I would go work landscaping. If the landscaper didn't have work, I would go work with the mason.
Wow.
And then, so I always wanted to provide for myself. And I didn't have a family, but I wanted to have a better life for myself. The American dream is still real.
Yeah.
It's just a lot harder now.
Yeah.
There's a lot more people.
Yeah. It's the landscape has changed quite a bit. And something that I'm excited by is see the possibility and the opportunity. You started from the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. And God's grace is incredible.
Yeah.
He opens up doors where you don't realize that's a door. You're like, oh my gosh, here's another wall. well, you're constantly being redirected, and it sounds like that was your phase of redirection.
Yes.
To your bigger purpose, because otherwise you wouldn't be here if that didn't happen back then.
No,
right?
and I'm so grateful because I remember he was a master plumber, a small company, maybe like 2 trucks, him, his son, his wife, and like it's a garbage man. Like, and he did garbage man and plumbing in the morning. He taught me plumbing. He worked in the city for a union job, but I remember seeing him like pay the guys, pay the taxes, and then the contractor holding money on him, and him feeling like I want to go on vacation, or I want to buy another car, but like this guy's holding my money, and this guy wants me to start another job before he pays me on that job. Like business shouldn't be like that.
Right.
But unfortunately, like in the contracting world, some of these guys are robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
And they're not prepared because they're putting out money on a big job, and until that job's closed, especially if real estate is involved, they have to wait till they get the transactions done to get paid, right?
Yeah.
So they're always playing catch up. So anybody around them is playing catch up. And when my uncle was a master plumber, he was working for a service company. He said, "You want to get into service, you can get paid faster."
Interesting.
And I didn't understand that because I see the new construction model, I see the military, I see, my father worked at Verizon. I seen like get a security job, 401k, retirement, union, like rich dad, poor dad, my whole life. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So, and all of a sudden he's telling me to do service, and I was applying to a local company, and it was Mike A's company, Gold Medal. So I started working there when I was 22 years old, and when I went there, it was like, wow, this is a growing company. At the time, it was probably like a $15 million company. And over the next like 6-7 years, it went to 32 million, and he had a massive exit. And I was a part of seeing all the operational, the working. And when I worked there, I worked as a helper, and it wasn't like it was just a plumbing company. So I was confused when I went there, because on the job site, the plumber would just do pipe work, and he would like stop. And then the electrician would come into the electrical, the HVAC guy would do the all of a sudden I'm working for Mike and his company, and some of these technicians were doing plumbing, HVAC, electrical, sheetrock, like everything under the sun.
That's incredible.
And I was like, wow. And I was fortunate enough, like, all right, one day, Ray, you're on a dig. Next, like doing sewer and water. Next day, Ray, you're remodeling a bathroom and doing a kitchen. And I'm like, okay. And then the next day, oh, Ray, you're going to go work with the electricians, wiring houses. And the next day, you're going to go do an HVAC install or replacement and a boiler. So for like about a year, I was just like a floater learning from all these guys. And there were some guys in the organization, this was like 2025, right? So it's like 15 years ago, and they were making 150.
Wow.
Some guys were approaching 200. As an employee, if you equate that to today, that's probably $250,000 to 300.
Wow.
And because of inflation, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen guys making really good livings. I seen guys buying investment properties as employees. So for me, it was really, okay, I can follow these guys that are really good at different skill sets, and then I'll apply it to myself. And then I got into a truck, and that's what I did.
Wow.
So now learning operational and marketing and sales and leadership, and that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
Working in the field, learning how to be a great craftsman, a communicator, selling, like that's.
So you learn how to sell too.
Yes. Okay. And that's a skill set in its own, and really, like if you are a contractor and you have employees, or you have service technicians, or you have foremen or people in certain roles that can communicate, can talk about the job, and can, like people say selling's a dirty word. It's not. It's serving. Like if you can serve people, communicate at the highest level, be honest with them, show integrity, you're going to get that job.
Yeah.
It's when you're holding back information, you're not talking about worst case scenario, you're not talking about the full job. That's where you hurt yourself. But when you talk about the full job, disclose everything, really explain what you need to do, there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah.
And that's a skill set that you have to really hone in communication.
Yeah. Going back to working for Mike here, because I think it's important to explore, and shout out to Mike if you're listening to this podcast. Hey, I want to honor you for the impact that you've had in my personal life, in my family, my relationship with Maddie. And this is like the perfect case study. It's like you were literally in the trenches. You learned from the process. Now I'm learning like how to apply like the diverse skill for team members, because he's challenging me like, hey, your people should know how to do multiple things. And I'm like, in digital marketing, we have a specialist for this and that. He's like, no, they should.
Yeah.
So now hearing that is so validating. But then let's go back and how did that help you when you built your service company? Did you go multi-service first?
Once Gold Medal was a company, once it exited, Mike left, I ended up working for some other companies inside the state, building out service department, building sales departments, building bonus plans, understanding a little bit more about the office and the business side behind the ends, not fully until like I opened my company. That's when it got really real. And all of a sudden I have to pay payroll, I have to pay taxes, I have to buy the trucks, I have to spend the marketing money. You know, that's where it gets real when you're in that owner operator role. Now to scale from like in the truck or being an estimator or sales guy to then becoming an owner is a whole different identity shift that a lot of guys just are so afraid of, or they have a limited belief or a story that keeps them trapped. And it could be their father, their grandfather, their employer, someone that they saw do their business, and they're unfortunately shown a tough blueprint. I was fortunate enough to see Mike's blueprint and some other larger companies. Like, Gold Medal was $32 million in 2016. I also worked for a $250 million company. So I seen, the facets of the growth inside plumbing, HVAC, electrical. And, those trades AI can't take.
Right.
Like if I have a software company, there's roles in that company where I have humans that I can replace with AI.
Yeah.
But humans that are doing skilled trades, I mean, it may happen, it may not, but it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
And as far as like understanding that, like I grew my organization to 60 employees before I had an exit. So yes, people had to be able to wear multiple hats, especially as you're scaling. Like, when you have 5 employees or 10, it's a lot. All of a sudden you have 20, 30, 40, like it gets even more. But really dialing in on your SOPs of what everyone's role is. But if somebody's out, somebody's got to be able to step in. If somebody's on vacation, so you have to have people that can wear multiple hats. You have to have people and you have to be able to have a replacement if, God forbid, somebody gets hit by a truck, or somebody gets deported or whatever happens, right?
Right.
You have to be able to be flexible and have the right people inside your organization that have that actually mindset of flexibility too, because the mindset is what you're hiring. You don't hire, you can hire on skill set, but I'd rather hire on personality, adaptability, people that are coachable and moldable to be able to be part of a growing organization. You may have somebody that you hire that they don't want to grow. Now it's either they're going to grow, or you're going to release them to not grow here because we're growing.
Right. So for our listeners, give us one nugget here on how you go about pouring into the mindset in just one key thing that might have helped you be able to grow and scale as you did.
So one thing is, like, if you're doing personal development, you're getting a mentor, you're part of an organization where you're learning growth, visionary things, leadership, all those things you're taking on, your core leadership team needs to take them on as well. And
you bring them on. You bring
them, or you come home and you start teaching them.
Got it.
And while you're at a training, you're then setting up a guideline of what you're going to roll out to them.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's just a constant.
It never stops. It's just a constant of evolution of learning, teaching. People are like, wait, how are you so successful? I'm like, because everything I learn, I teach to someone. So if I learn something, I need to teach it. If I hold on to it, it's kind of like, it's not going to grow.
Yeah.
Actually, when you teach it, it will grow. So becoming a master
and
student.
And it solidifies too.
What I would say is mastery of studentship, if that's even a word, like being a steward of learning and then becoming a better teacher and then becoming a master teacher. The clearer you can teach, the clearer they can perform. And the clearer that you have the SOPs and the KPIs in order, the more accountable they are to then hitting that objective. And it's really not an objection, it's a standard. That's the right word. Hitting that standard that you're going to create.
Interesting.
And it doesn't matter what business it is, because now I'm diversified in multiple sectors.
Right.
Based off of this learning how to run a plumbing and HVAC company and electrical and waterproofing and drain cleaning. Now it's real estate. Now it's Airbnbs. Now it's AI. Now it's consulting, and now it's equity. And so, the journey is sometimes when you're in it, you don't understand why you're there, and later on when you look back, you're like, oh, I get it. you're going to take licks and bumps and bruises. It's about learning from it. It's not a loss. Like and once I started to really shift, I mean, I've done a lot of training, not just with Mike, but, with other, really successful high level people, because the key is, yes, you have one foundational mindset you want to jump to, right? Well, for me, it was the Bible. Then it could be other mentors that are very successful in marketing, sales, leadership, family, right? Because all those things and understanding core values, brand promising, really like the messaging you're putting out there, a social media, brand ambassador, like all these wonderful opportunities you have that you're afraid of. It's just a little bit of pivot and stretching. And it's nice to have a mentor and a group of other builders around you that you can bounce stuff off of. It's not just you. So every time you hold everything in, it's a restrictor. Once you speak about it to somebody else, you're releasing that restrictor.
That's good.
And then having the right people around you that are in that positive mindset and that understands what it takes to scale, grow, and win. When they're like, yeah, Danny, that's a great idea. Hey, Danny, I love that idea, but this is the only thing I'm seeing as like a roadblock when I went through it. Then you're getting faster.
Full spectrum, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then as far as like your organization, dialing in your training for your leadership, for your sales, for your outbound, for your outreach, for inside sales, like any department, weekly trainings.
Weekly trainings. Everyone.
Accountability.
No exception. What do you say to the contractor that's listening to this? They're like, well, I'm in the weeds. I'm working my ass off, and I don't have any time to train. I don't have any energy left. My team members have to go and they have to do the work. Clients got to get service. How do you go about, and again, that's a mindset thing, but how do you go about working with someone like that?
I work with mid-sized companies, whether it's one guy in a truck or 10 trucks or 50 trucks, right?
Yeah.
They all have to go through an evolution of trust in their self, trust in their team, and communication. What holds a lot of companies back and a lot of owners back is communication. They expect their employees or their team members to think like them, but they didn't communicate it. Because what happens is your skill set and your knowledge is yours. Theirs isn't yours, but we can assume that they understand what you do, and they don't. So when you dial in the weekly training, you're able to deal with their misconceptions or their wrong knowledge, and then you're correcting them. And I remember like around $3 million, I had a mentor at about the same size as Mike, like $30 million company. I said, dude, I need more people. He's like, Ray, you don't need more people. He's like, you need more Rays. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, you need to get more people to believe and to think and to act like you. And when you create more Rays, you're going to create more profit. And I was like, wow. And I did that. And I put time into people, and they were able to expand and grow. And until you put the time into your people, your team can't grow.
So did you go into your people asking leadership, you pour into them, and then they
it's a trickle down
cascade
effect.
Down. Okay, so you pour into your leadership. So who was your first hire?
My first hire was my friend now and brother. His name is Joe. He was a helper when he started with me, and we scaled. For him to be a foreman, to be a manager, to then be a general manager. So he really saw the whole business, but the whole part of his growth was then growing up people underneath him.
Wow.
And like I used to run the sales meetings. I used to run the marketing meetings. I used to run the leadership meetings. I used to run every department, dispatch, inbound, outbound, CSR. So I taught it, and then I needed somebody to own it and them to keep teaching it. That's the key. You have to keep teaching and redefining and remaking sure it's working. You know what I mean? And dialing in your SOPs. Anytime there's an issue or a problem, you need to create an SOP.
Right.
And every SOP you refuse to create and to take attention to is something you're restricting from your greater future.
Wow. That's so good.
But every time you put the work into it,
and
you take that time and you develop it, now it's a new standard. Then you got to teach it to the manager. He's got to teach it to the team, but the manager has to teach it back to you. And that's the thing. You might not be the right manager, so you may have to switch them out. Everybody has a right seat. Sometimes people are in the wrong seat. So seeing that, and being able to move them in the right seat. Not everybody's meant to be a leader, a high level. Like you have middle managers, high level managers, and like directors. not everybody's going to evolve to those roles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to be flexible because, like I said, you may have some people that have identities of like how it used to be 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 5 or 10 years ago. And all of a sudden you're putting in new systems and new processes and changes. And they're like, oh, I don't know, it's not going to work. Or why? We've been doing it like this the whole. I love you, brother. If you want to be part of this, you're going to have to step up or you can step out because this is bigger than me and you.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the heart. You're constantly leading them to the bigger and better future, which
always.
is something we say here at Contractor Click, is always growing to the bigger and better future. I love this. I love this conversation. Take me back. We met about three years ago, give or take, right? And at that point in time, how many years had you been in business?
So
when we
probably
met?
like 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And where were you at in revenue?
Probably like 3.7.
3.7. So you went from like
1.6, 3.7, 7.2 to like 17 mil.
So you're doubling.
Yeah.
Let's talk about doubling and what that required from you, which is, for some people it's like, okay, you can double, and then you sink, whatever it is, right? But you had this massive leap where I noticed there was like a moment where you were at 3, and then I saw you back when you were at 7+, and then you were at 14 or whatever the revenue numbers were. I'm not keeping track, but to me that's impressive to be able to do it. But what's more impressive is the individual that's carrying through and leading that growth.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit.
I mean,
about
looking
that.
back at it, yes, I exited in 4 years. If I knew what I knew now, maybe I would have slowed it down a little bit to have even bigger exit,
Interesting.
Because I was so focused on the number. And once I got to the number, I was like, all right, I did it. Then once I did the transaction, I did it, So really getting in line with the number that you want, getting in line with the EBITDA you want, because you're going to get there. You just have to reverse engineer and attack it. And for me, like, Mike did tell me, he said, Ray, love it to the end. And I did. I loved it. Like, and I remember, for me, like, I'm not afraid to say, like, I had a therapist, I had a business coach, I had a life coach, I had a spiritual coach. Like, I had people in my life praying for me, working with me to help me handle all that. And I, while you're in that, like, $10, $20 million whirlwind, you don't understand until you're there. You can look at someone and say, oh, yeah, look at what they've built. He must be lucky or must be nice or this guy's so fortunate. No, that guy put the work in, or that gal put the work in to get there. And then for me, like, my wife was building a recovery business at the same time.
Yeah.
And I had 3 kids.
3 kids.
So, like, it was a lot, but I'm grateful for it because today in my life, I can pick and choose what I want. I can talk on podcasts.
Yeah.
I can be available mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and not consumed by a business like that, where I can now work with strategic partners and really use my knowledge, my skill set, all the wonderful and amazing things I put the work into gain and master to then implement into their organizations. And people are like, I need more money. You don't need more money. You need more dedicated strategy and systems at work. Because you could put more money in and you're just creating a bigger problem. I'd rather slow it down a little bit, dial in the process and the systems so you can support the growth. Because money can't outpace growth. Like growth can't outpace money.
Yeah.
Money is just a byproduct of the work you've done.
Yeah.
In business, in life, in family, in marriage, in divorce, and in pain and trauma, like, the work you're not willing to do, your kids are going to take on, you're going to take on.
So true. Yeah.
But the work you're willing to overcome and like they say, pull your pants up and strap up and I hate to say it, but man up, that's going to be the standard you set for your kids, for your friends. And like, what I learned is as you start scaling and making more money and doing better, not everybody's happy for you.
True.
But the ones that are from the beginning that stay with you, they end up becoming entrepreneurs. They end up becoming believers because they take on the identities and the mindsets and the things that have worked for you. Like, all the glory goes to God in my life.
Yeah.
The business, my family, my wife, my marriage, my investments, and then giving back.
Yeah.
When God asked me to donate or this or that, like, yes, I do it because he delivers so much more than I could ever ask for.
Wow. Amen.
You know, and like for today in my life, like my kids are in a Christian school. They're learning Bible verses. They're,
Yeah.
you know, they're sharing the love of God. They're worshiping. My dreams have come true. Like if I don't want to say it, but if there's anything like could say I'm grateful for is my kids.
Amen.
And their walk and their life, because business and a house or a nice car or a nice boat or multiple businesses or multiple investments, you could take that from me tomorrow, but you can't take the time I put into my kids. You can't take the connection I gave to my sons and my daughter.
Yeah.
That they know what it is to be a man. They know what it is to be a father, because they're going to have an opportunity to then find their wife or my daughter to find her husband, and to see how mommy and daddy live their life. Now I can't even say mommy and daddy because they're 9 and 7. So how mom and dad live their life.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's so good. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's like, hey, where is the true jewels that God's given us? And sometimes we're looking, I'll speak for myself. There's been seasons where I'm looking at the bottom line dollars, the growth, the projections, and then my children, all they want is attention, and they want the presence. And I've had to slow down, because otherwise there's chaos that gets created at home, and now I've got to go by force, not because I wanted to. And I really look at that, and it's a testament. And, you know, it's not always rainbow and sunshine, living the life of an entrepreneur, having a wife and kids, and making the time to be present there.
Yeah.
But you've been able to do that, you know, and I want to commend you for that, because that's something I believe, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a father, if you're a husband, you want to do better for your family. You want to lead by example. You want to take care of them. You want to make sure bills are paid and they don't ever have to worry about the shit that you had to deal with, right? And when I see someone that's been able to accomplish that in growth and scale and exit, I mean, that's the perfect storm right there, all of it, which leads me into share a little bit about some of the rituals and routines that have helped you maintain sanity, because it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of processing. Every millisecond counts.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for my journey and my experience. And I had my priorities in the wrong state at one point, growing my business. At one point it was the business, money, power, growth, market share, and then my family last, and my health last. And guess what? God woke me up. I had some health issues where I got grounded. Now the whole time I was scaling, I was praying, I was meditating, I was doing my part with God and or universe, whatever you want to call it. But when I had those wake up calls, it was like, okay, the business could kill you. How about you take care of yourself, your health? How about you set date nights up? How about you set up one-on-one with the kids? Like, because I was coaching, I was there present, like physically, but a lot of times emotionally, not there. I was worried about the trucks, the phones, the customers, the projects, right? And once I was able to release that and have the leadership team that could then take on all those struggles I was holding on to, I could then put my family first, my marriage first, my relationship with God above all that, number one. So it was God, my marriage, or maybe God, my health, my marriage, then my kids. Then the business, and then the investments. Life really started to change for me. But I didn't know until I went through that season. So now that I've been through that season, I know now. I know that my priorities need to be God first.
Amen.
My marriage, my children. Today it's my partners and my businesses, right? Because for me, I don't need to take on all that risk anymore. I have so much abundance of knowledge and wisdom and financial freedom. If I want to take on risk, I can. But for me, I'd rather bet on myself. What I'm learning in the business world is not everybody's Ray. I want them to be Ray, but not everybody's Ray. So, but I have control over my side of the street and my vision and my alignment with my partners. So I'm gonna bring it. Are you willing to bring it? Like that's really
so
the key,
good.
You know. And I've seen that, like with all my partners, I've had to stretch them to think bigger, to make more money, because money is a byproduct of the work. And with that money, you can then help give people more jobs, create opportunities, get back to the church, get back to your community. whatever you're really passionate about, because at the end of the day, we don't take that with us. We take our soul, and our soul takes all the souls it's connected with while it's here.
Wow. So powerful.
It never leaves. It just keeps moving forward.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to me and you're like, wow, this guy, he's way out there. I am, because I've had to go through these hurdles. And, like I talked to my partner, Joe, from Choice One, and I'm like, when you get to the point where you see everybody as a soul, you start thinking on a human scale and you start thinking on a spiritual scale.
Wow, that's so deep.
And you start to understand their white light inside of them.
Yeah.
And how this world and a lot of things that go on in the news and politics and social media will try to dim your light. Will try to keep you shut and quiet.
Yeah.
God didn't create us to be shut and quiet. He created us to share his news, his word, and a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Yeah.
So good.
All the glory is to God, man. And like who I am today and who I've evolved to is all from God and the doors he's opened. And when I started my business, or even when I remember being in the military, and I think about this, like at night you'd be marching with your platoon or you'd be working out, and you don't know why you're doing it. You're just doing it because it's your job. But then, and when you're training, right? When you're training with weapons and hand-to-hand, like you need to be prepared for when the application happens. Same thing in business. You need to train, prepare, just like the athletes, remember? They need the coaches, they need the mentors. They're preparing so that when it's their time to shine, they shine. People make excuses like, I'm not here, I'm not there. They're not willing to do the work, the preparation, take the time to invest in themselves, invest in their people, right? And ground themselves.
Yeah.
Like the meditation piece for me is like, I meditate multiple times a day because that's where the source of the answer is. It's a connection to God, to me, to then my partners, to my family, to my wife, to my community, to the kids that are in my kids' lives. And you create an ecosystem of abundance and prosperity, and people feel that energy. They feel it. Like an A person like myself, you're around me, you're like, yo, it's different around him. They say if you're within 15 feet, you start getting uncomfortable if you're a D and an F person.
Wow. Interesting. Man, that's so good. So good. Man, this podcast has been so good. And anyone out there, you're listening to this, I want to let you know, like on the other side of whatever chaos you have or whatever dream that you have that you're pursuing, it all comes from the root. And that's something I've been diving deeper into, is like the fruits are byproduct of the roots. And sometimes those roots need to be recalibrated. Maybe, like I went to service and they were talking about how there's the gifts of the Spirit. And sometimes, we're not tending to those gifts that are given to us. And we got to prune the branches that are not giving us the proper growth. Well, in business, and as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, the fruits that we have in our business are a reflection of who we are. And that's something I'm examining on a daily basis. I'm like, hey, if this is failing here, which comes back to the spiritual side, because we don't talk about it as much, but to be able to see a byproduct of like how you've been able to compress time and manifest and create, it's not by brute force. It's not like, hey, I'm going to go to this training and I'm going to go and scream at everyone that they suck because they don't have a six-pack. No, it's just a byproduct. It's energy, right? Mike talks about energy, but it's interesting how you explained and broke it down. And I totally believe in the ability to quiet and being still to be able to bring out forth.
Yeah, no, I love that. You talked about the root, right? And when you think about a gardener, when he roots his weeds, he's like, I just rooted all these weeds. I pulled the bad ones out. What ends up happening? Another one grows. So you have to constantly be working and pruning.
Yeah.
And it's just like business or life. Like you solve a problem, another one pops up.
Yeah.
You're never done. You're just able to evolve as a human being, as a soul, to then communicate at a higher level, be more honest, have higher integrity, right? Show up as the best version of yourself in everything you do.
Yeah.
And I know the biggest restrictor of growth is trauma. The trauma that you're not willing to deal with is what's going to hold you back.
Yeah.
Now, I've been doing work on meditation, manifestation, trauma work, like since I got in business, because that's the key to the answer to growth, right? Is to brighten that white light and remove the darkness. Trauma is just a dark spot that will show up in your body.
Yeah.
like autoimmune diseases, cancers, all these things are unhealed trauma because the body follows the mind.
Yeah.
So, when you have an event that happened, a traumatic events, molestation, incest, rape, like horrible things.
Yeah.
And everyone's level of trauma is different, but until you can uncover it and let it die and has no more power, you're just fighting that restrictor. So really understanding the restrictors in your mind, neutralizing them, and then looking at upside down sides of things to be able to get to the next level and continuously grow. And you get to a position where you can then teach others, and you could share the gifts and the joys and the pains and the traumas and the good and the bad, right? Because everything you're going through in life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you.
Yeah.
So when I understood that, I may have talked about it earlier, but every opportunity, every door that closed, every position I was in, God did all that for me.
Amen.
And I couldn't see it at the time, Dan. I just saw, man, this sucks, or man, this is tough. And like marching and training. And then when I was working with Mike and doing different roles, like, I remember digging ditches or, running electrical wires or, doing big boiler work and heavy lifting, and like all that was preparing me, right? So everything in my life has been preparing me for who I am today. And what I'm going through now is preparing me for who I'm becoming tomorrow.
So good. So good. You've got a beautiful family. Kids are growing up. The men that they see today, it's a byproduct of who you've been willing to become, like giving yourself permission to become in that next version of yourself, right? Yeah. And now you're enjoying the fruits of your labor, and you're with your spouse. How is life now that you've exited and like fast forward, was it worth going through it?
Yes.
And then now, like, what do you guys do for fun? Like, what are some of the things that light you up?
Yeah. So, I was listening to you talk about the evolution of going through an exit like I did, and then the kids and the marriage. So now it's like I get to pick and choose who I want to work with. I get to pick and choose. So for me, like my goal is right after this, I'm gonna go pick up my kids at 2:45. Nice. I feel like as a father, if you have that, you have a lot of freedom. Yeah. Flexibility to be there when they get out of school. Now, my kids, like, they're big into baseball, right? So they're like, Dad, like, you're so focused on business and helping people in church, and we're always on time, and you have these non-negotiables that they see every day. You get up, you go to the gym, you're always honest. You're like, they see that standard that you're setting. And then they're like, Dad, didn't you play baseball? I'm like, yeah. They're like, why didn't you go to college and play baseball? Why didn't you go to the pros? Everything you do it like really well. And I'm like, I didn't have the mentor when I was your age. I didn't have the coaches when I was your age. And I ground myself and I said, but guess what? I'm here for you today.
Wow.
I'm able to give them everything I never had.
Yeah.
And, I explained that to them. I'm like, when I'm so excited when we're on a jet ski or we're jumping off a cliff or we're traveling somewhere, I'm experiencing it for the first time as well. So there's a lot of healing in that,
Wow.
Like I didn't own a quad. I didn't have dirt bikes. Like it just wasn't my time. But guess what? As a grown man, I'm buying a quad, I'm buying a dirt bike, I'm buying boats. I'm able to do those things with my kids, Like I never did that. I never went parasailing or scuba diving or snowboarding or skiing.
Wow.
But I get to do all those things with my kids now.
Yeah.
And it's healing to my inner child. He's free, and I remember doing self-imagery work. Entrepreneurship is really internal work.
Yeah.
People just don't understand. They just look at, I'm a boss or I'm a business owner. No, you are a student. And when you can learn to, like, people want to master sales or marketing or growth or, direct mail, whatever. Once you can master yourself, you can master any of those things. So the key is to self-mastery. When you can understand yourself, your why, what you need to do to regulate yourself, what you need to do to emotionally be the best version of yourself, so that when you are scaling, you can handle it. You know what I mean? You're not freaking out or yelling or going to a training and then screaming. No, you're going to a training, you're building a plan, you're coming home, you're implementing that plan, you're creating accountability, Everybody's on the same page. So the work that you're refusing to do is the work that you're refusing to give to your company, your kids, your marriage, yourself.
Wow. Deep work.
Yeah.
Deep work. There you have it, folks. We're wrapping up this episode. What an episode. This is a special one for us. And I'll make sure to share it with our tribe. And where can people connect with you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. It's Ramiro Reyes Jr. I usually have a picture of me, my wife, and my kids. Like, I feel like with social media, people are like, I need my own picture. I need my own portrait. I'm like, I just want my family. You know?
That's
like,
good.
Like, if I didn't have social media, I'd be fine. As long as I have my family,
Yeah.
you know? Social media is just a tool to it's like the news, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So this is great. My news feed is just abundance, prosperity, serving, helping, guiding, mentoring, and not just in business, but as a father or a spouse, you know, like all those roles we wear. For me, it's dad, husband, brother, son, friend, you know.
Amen.
I've helped people for many years just out of the kindness of my heart, you know, because that's what we're called to do. And I'm thankful for your time, and I hope you got something from this. If you didn't, listen to another Contractor Click episode.
No, they'll certainly will, and I'm very very grateful and honored to have you here in our podcast. And Tim, if you have not yet hit that subscribe button, make sure you go find the subscribe, give us a like, a share. What do you like the most about this episode? Type it into the comments, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in.